All right, Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah Kwadash. Double honor to the elder Zachary Millstone who taught us this truth. All right, Shalom to the hopefully elect. I just want to go into what's going on in Venezuela right now. I just want to touch on it real quick. All right, U.S. citizens urged to leave Venezuela immediately. Okay, amid security concerns. All right, so I'm gonna let this video play. This is fair use.
You're watching live now. I'm Austin Westfall, a live look at the White House. We're getting some breaking news in that the U.S. government is issuing a new security alert urging Americans in Venezuela to leave the country immediately, citing security concerns and the U.S. government's inability to provide emergency assistance, according to the U.S. Embassy in Caracas. Getting some of this news in from Fox and from the TravelGov site, they say this: the security situation in Venezuela remains fluid as international flights have resumed. U.S. citizens in Venezuela should leave the country immediately. Before departure, U.S. citizens should take precautions and be aware of their surroundings. There are reports of groups of armed militias known as colectivos setting up roadblocks and searching vehicles for evidence of U.S. citizenship or support for the United States. Remain vigilant and exercise caution when traveling by road. Monitor airlines' communications and websites for updated information. Venezuela has the highest travel advisory, level 4, do not travel, due to severe risks to Americans, including wrongful detention, torture in detention, terrorism, kidnapping, arbitrary enforcement of local laws, crime, civil unrest, and poor health infrastructure. Enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, also called STEP, at the link that they've provided there. Again, that's at the TravelGov X account, at TravelGov, if you want to click on that link, if you know anybody who may need to hear that news. Of course, all of this coming in light of the U.S.'s strikes on Venezuela, which, as we speak, happened just over 1 week ago. So much has happened since then, it hardly feels like it was a week ago.
Yeah, like the apostles say, like brothers on down say, this is a quote from I believe a Russian, Vladimir Lenin, I believe, said this. There are decades where nothing happens, and then weeks where decades happen. So this is one of those weeks where decades happen, man. Some crazy stuff going on. All right. So this shows you that America, all right, Babylon the Great is the hammer of the whole earth. Okay. And who's swinging that hammer? The small hats. All right. The tribe of Amalek of the house of Esau. All right. Jeremiah 15:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? And when is that going to happen? When America faces the wrath of that nuclear destruction, okay? Which is going to be soon, all right? That's when Yahushai comes back, all right? Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, all right? How is Babylon, America, become a desolation among the nations, all right? Excuse me. It's going to be laid fully desolate when it becomes a desert via this nuclear hellfire, all right? Now, the scriptures also speak about how in the last days there's going to be uproars of the people. Okay, so what you're seeing now in Venezuela is an example of an uproar of the people. Okay, and you also had in France the protesters. All right, they forced the French president out of his home, all right, or out of his office. I mean, out of the equivalent of the White House over there. Second Esdras, Second Esdras 9 and 2, it says, "Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." All right, when you see these prophecies coming to pass. All right, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Right, we're seeing a lot of earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Okay, this is an example of an uproar. All right. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Beautiful. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. This is Salakia, man. Let me chill out for a second. This is an example of an uproar of the people. Okay. So, just just touching on that real briefly, man. I pray that was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honor to the elder Zachary Millstone who taught us this truth. Shalom.